Hey, it's Cecil, and it's Saturday, and we are back with yet another speed build. Oh boy. So I was, sitting thinking my thoughts about what I could do for some summertime builds, and I was like, oh, wouldn't it be so fun to do like different hangout locations, like a teen hangout, and maybe like later we'll do like a children's sort of hangout thing, and it'll be so great. And I was like, yes, you know what teenagers do? They shenanigan at the mall. So I was like, yes, I'm going to build a mall because what could possibly go wrong? This footage was well over 4.5 hours. Okay, I have the footage sped up by 1,000%. My computer is crying at me. Okay, like I think when I loaded all of the files before I had sped it up, I could actually hear DaVinci Resolve go. So we're doing really good. Anyways, um I thought I could prep this so that it could go up like last Saturday, I think. Although did I did I do a speed build last Saturday? I was on vacation for a week and now my concept of time is just completely gone. I don't know how long it's been for absolutely anything. I spent a long time kind of doing both the shell and the floor plan more or less all at once because I knew that I was going to need to like base the shell on the floor plan. Um so I definitely made sure to like put time into that. Uh and this part alone took a while. um I did change my mind about windows like a bazillion times because the thing is, I cannot think of malls that really have that many windows in the stores, right? Because of the way that malls are structured and whatnot. But like, this is The Sims. And also, buildings in The Sims look a little weird without any sort of without any sort of like windows and exterior interesting things. So I didn't want it to be a box. I wanted it to be an interesting shape. I think I achieved that. I don't think it's the ugliest box that I've ever made. So, um, I made that little like floor cutout area, malls. you 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 know how malls are. Anyways, I okay. To be honest, the last mall that I was in, it was the mall that's near me. And when I was little, I used to think it was a great mall. I was like, yeah, this is totally banger. This has everything I could ever possibly need. And then for a little while, I moved somewhere with a very big mall. And it's not the biggest mall, obviously. We're not talking the Mall of America here, but it's thorough, right? Her food court has its own food court, like it's expansive. So when I came back and about a month ago, a little more than that now, me and my partner, we went to that mall and I'm standing in there and I'm like, oh wow, this is really small. Like it's not the smallest mall I've ever been in. That would be when I was in fuck all comma nowhere, Wisconsin, where my dad lived for a while. That was the smallest mall that I think I've been in as far as like an indoor mall goes. But I was like, wow. Like I couldn't even I yeah, no. And also it is just like it's a big rectangle because most malls are big rectangles and it's okay. That is what they are, and that is okay. Anyways, I made a list of 15 stores, and a lot of them got condensed. So I have it so that there are 9 cash registers throughout the store, and you might think that that sounds a little wild, but it's not because I have a mod that extends the number of employees you can have, which is very nifty. I did do a little bit of a playtest to make sure I could actually hire 9 employees, and I could, so everything was fine. I think this is one of those instances where I might have actually done the outdoor stuff before, like the landscaping and stuff, before I went inside, because the inside is just scary. I built it and then I was like, oh no. And then I was trying to do the landscaping and I was like, oh no. I hate landscaping community lots because it I never know really what to do, because sometimes you'll go to a place and they'll have like this beautiful garden and there's like a bird fountain in the middle of it and it has a fish that's spitting water out of its mouth. And other times it's like, look at this tree. Do you like our tree? So I tried to find a balance. Um and I think it succeeded. I don't know. I had like 5 separate mental breakdowns recording this build, and I wish so much that I was a neurotypical person exaggerating. But no. I'm just autistic and very easily overwhelmed, but I did it to myself. And there were like 3 times throughout this process at least that I was like, no one knows about this video. No one is holding a gun to my head forcing me to finish recording this. And it's like, yeah, I know. But now that my brain has put it that way, I have to. Like, I'm no weenie. You can't scare me out of doing this. So poor decisions were made. um That's okay. So what I ended up doing, there's like a clothing store with 3 departments on the bottom floor. So there's the kids section, there's the adult section, and then there's like a teen section, which I kind of uh, have set up for like prom vibes, but that's not going to show up in the build. So we will have to go in game to look at it quickly. After all of this, oh, it was so long. And then there's there's a candy store, which is really more like a bakery because it's The Sims. And then there's a toy store which connects to what I'm kind of considering like a furniture/department store. I don't know. I put a lot of like trinkets, and then there's like a couch and some different beds which you can buy. So, there's those. And then on the second floor, I think there's a shoe store. There's the second part of the department store. There's a pet store, and then there's like a kitchenware store, and then there's like an arts and crafts store. So those are good. And then on the third floor, there's like an upcycled and local finds store, and then the other one is like a candles and home goods almost, I don't know, store. It's, to be honest, it gives more Bath and Body Works White Candle Barn, except if Bath and Body Works also sold like towels. you know. Um so yeah, quite a lot going on here. And then it was so great to finish the build, because I was like, oh yeah, it is finally all built. And then I remembered and then I remembered that you have to go in The Sims, and in live mode you have to manually set every single item individually as set for sale. And it was at that point that I started wondering, what have I done? um yeah, that was yeah. I did not film that. I'm not going to make you guys sit through that, but I will tell you that it took 30 minutes, right? It took 30 minutes to mark every single item on this lot that was for sale as for sale. I did start crying about halfway through the second floor, But I finished it, and now it is a functional store. There are mannequins on this lot, which I do worry about a little bit because I do know that there has been a mannequin glitch, but it is allegedly fixed. Like allegedly. So we will also play test that before I put it on the gallery, maybe? Basically, if you don't know, a lot of the time when people were making retail lots that had any sort of like mannequins on the lot, every time that they went to place that lot from the gallery, or sometimes I think for some people it was also loading into that lot from the game, but I think that one was less common. But anytime they went to place the lot from the gallery, the game would just crash. Not even a dramatic crash of like first it freezes and then slowly it shuts down. No, no, no. We are talking just full exit. Just bye. So we're gonna try and avoid that if we at all can. And to be honest, as much as I like the mannequins, I can remove them if necessary, right? In the children's area of the clothing store, I did also put some toys because I was like, there's always like little distracting things around children's clothes in a bigger store. That way they can be doing the thing that their mom brought them here for, and then they're like, "Oh my God, mom, look at this!" And capitalism. So I started building this weeks ago, right? And so when I started building it, it was before the horse ranch pack was out. I'm in so much pain. So it was before that patch had even come out that I had like started it. And then the patch did come out, and then I didn't update my game. So it's not until like the last hour and a half, give or take, of building that I had that update. So this does have a custom ceiling. I picked out a ceiling, and I think it's better than the grayish white void. So, it's still not like it's not a pretty ceiling. This is still a mall. I found it. Oh my gosh. Let's talk about the ceilings. I don't need to keep explaining every single thing that is happening at this moment. I will show you when we go through the build at the end. But let's talk about the ceiling update for a moment, okay? I'm gonna take a sip of my kombucha here for my vocal cords. But then, so the ceiling update. This is something that at least the builders of the community have been asking for forever. If you follow Simsy, which you should, her videos are the reason that I have achieved any sort of building skill. So if you like my builds, you will love her builds. Almost guarantee. Anyways, I remember her talking about it a lot, and I had never thought about it until I had started like doing more content creation and stuff. And then I was like, oh my gosh, every time that I go into like the tab free cam view and I look up and I just see this white void, or there would just be a lot of situations slowly over time that I was like, oh my God, you're right. You're right. That is ugly. And then I started playing the older Sims games more, and playing The Sims 3 again. The first time that I played The Sims 3 when I was a teenager, I did not build because I didn't know how, and I had no confidence or hubris. Now I have all of both. But anyways, so I started on that sort of process, oh my gosh, my brain glitched. When the game went to the saving screen, that was my brain loading. Wow. So I had started to actually, look more at the build features. If you remember back in December, I built the same home in every single generation of The Sims, and it was a very good fun time. But I realized, like, yeah, The Sims 3 had the option to paint your ceilings. Why don't we have that now? And there's a few things from the older generations of The Sims that didn't carry on into The Sims 4, which I will never really understand. Like, huh, if you have something in a previous generation of a game that is a good feature that should carry over, I think that should carry over, you know? Um, but it doesn't always work that way, especially not with the Sims franchise, and that is what it is. Um, Anyways, so the ceiling update. It finally came. Builders were excited. I messed around with it just when I was testing out what everything looked like in the horse pack. And so I was going through each individual tab trying to see, like, okay, what floors did they convert into ceilings, and then what floors will just be floors, and are there any ceilings that are just ceilings? Oh, no, no, no. Everything that can be a floor can also be a ceiling. Everything that can be a ceiling can also be a floor. Except I don't think that they added anything that was like specifically ceiling. Um and so it's just like, do you want your ceiling to be carpet? And like some of them are good, right? Like having a wooden ceiling for when you're building like a log cabin, that makes sense. But I don't know. I was kind of expecting that we might get some specific ceiling swatches, like a popcorn ceiling, or like there's so many, or like those ceilings that are in like every school and most office buildings, where they've got those like rectangle tiles and they're held up by those whatever metal strips, and you can push them up, and they often will break or get misaligned and all of that. So you know the ones. You know the ones, I hope. That's a real bad description, but I'm hoping that you know what I'm talking about. I was expecting that we might get something like that maybe, but I mean, if we did and I missed it, that's on me. So please let me know in the comments. But as far as I know, we did not get that. So I was kind of like, man, the quintessential ceilings, I either cannot find them worth a damn, or we just didn't get them. And that's disappointing. I think it's okay to be a little disappointed about that. But I am not going to complain about it too much because I am far too excited about the fact that we have the ability to paint ceilings now. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like, yeah, that's annoying, but at the same time, no complaints. I'm glad they gave it to us. And also, I don't know what like technology or like testing complications there was in trying to mark something only for ceilings and not also for floors. Cuz sometimes code is fidgety and finicky and doesn't want to do what you're asking it to do. And I get that. I get that. I have coding experience. I understand. So I'm like, if there could have been a reason, and I believe in giving the Sims team the benefit of the doubt. EA gets no benefit of anything. No benefit of doubt. But the Sims team, I give them the benefit of the doubt when it comes to stuff like this, because I'm like, I don't know. Plus, I'm sure that there will be CC creators who will make the quintessential ceilings. And then when they're going through the code for like tagging it, maybe they will know if you can tag them separately or if it's just all of them function as the same thing. So we shall see. It's also really interesting, though, because I think in the live stream, they kind of phrased it like it would only be some of the floors that would be available as ceilings. So I guess we got way more than expected, which, I mean, that's good, I'm glad for that, but also it's like, I'm confused. I'm confused by it. I don't know what the process is, and I would love to crack open the game and understand it. But the thing is, I don't really understand how to do that yet because I struggle too much trying to navigate the Sims code. So, if there's any CC creators out there who know, please tell me. Are they tagged as the same item? I'm sorry. This is probably not very interesting speed build talk. Here I am, like, how are the items tagged that make it have to work like this? And it's like, does literally anybody care? My guess is no. Anyways, I had to alt place the balls on that shelf there, which was a little bit of a pain because there's no good way to place them on most of the shelves, so they all kind of look like they're floating. Just look at it from a sort of top view angle, and then you don't really need to worry about it, and it's totally fine. Oh yeah, here's the kitchen store. We've got I know that I could have done like a different type of refrigerator, but I ended up just going with same with like the stoves and stuff. I just ended up with going with like different colors of the same brand because I don't know, to be honest. It felt easier that way in the moment, and that is what I went with. If you place this build and you decide that you want to put down different kinds, then, go for it. Absolutely. I was at my wit's end by this point. Um I'm still emotionally recovering from how much work this build took. But that's okay because it is so worth it to me. I'm going to use this build. Even if I didn't like it, I feel like for 4.5 hours of my recording time, plus another 30 minutes of setting every individual item as for sale, plus like another 10 minutes of play testing. So we're already over 5 hours of my time, not counting the amount of time that it takes to edit it and put together this voiceover and go back into game to show you guys everything. Like, listen, at this point, it took like a quarter of an entire day, which, you know, that's a lot. And I did not do it all at once because that would have definitely been way too much, but it's still a lot. So, you know, I have to use it. I will use it. I will use it. I'll probably try and use it in my not so berry save. Well, unless the game crashes when I place it. Oh man, for a second there I forgot about the mannequins. If the game crashes when I place it, I think instead I will just cry again. Oh boy. Here we go. Anyways, I'm putting down a bunch of collectibles in the store. Oh yeah, by the way, I have the store set as a 25% markup, I believe. I had Nancy Landgrab buy it. But yeah, so I have the store set up at a like 25% markup. There's some collectibles here. There's not every single collectible here, but like there's a good few. You know, there's a good few. And I know that I think I called this the local finds, and then I included stuff from like Space and Salvadorada. Don't worry about it. That's local to some people. Everything is local to someone, you know? Even just rewatching this build, I'm like, wow, I can feel my sanity slipping away once more. This is the Candle and Home Goods store, and I had both a really fun time and a really annoyed time placing this many like candles and other like bathroom objects. It's one of those things where it was like, I'm glad that I like took the time to do it because I like that it has that like white candle barn, Bath and Body Works vibe. It feels very quintessential mall to me. but it was a lot. It was a lot to place down. Oh boy. Yeah, we put down like the lotions and the sets and like the bath beads and the bath baskets, and I tried to put down a good variety where it truly felt like going to the store, where it's like, ah, yes, we have this style of pump and this style of pump, and we have these that come in a set for a little bit cheaper than if you bought them separately, and stores. Oh. And then we put in the tiny towels, and I know those have a little soap bar on top of them, but just pretend it's all tied together with a bow, right? Just pretend. Oh, the sunscreen. I put sunscreen in there, and wouldn't you know it, sunscreen is not an item you can mark for sale in The Sims for some reason. I would have thought that it was, but it's not. Like literally everything else, even the things that I wasn't sure about. I'm like, surely I can't sell a bed. I'm probably not going to be able to sell like the fabrication machine. But no, every single thing, no trouble until I went to mark the sunscreen for sale. And it's like, you actually may not sell the sunscreen. No UV safety for your Sims. And like, I know it's a decorative item, but so is pretty much everything else in the bathroom decor. Like the soap doesn't function, the toilet paper doesn't function. Like, anyways, let's hop into game and take a look at it. Here we are at the mall. We've got everything here. We've got some like billboards. I used this to try and make it be the mall sign. I don't know. Back here, since there wasn't room for a food court inside the mall, I decided to have like a sort of outdoor eating area, and then there's like an indoor sitting area if you want to order your food and take it in. But like I thought this little area would be nice, and there's ramen, there's like a American food, there's like Mexican food, and then over here I think we've got pizza and like a coffee cart sort of thing. I realize that it has the Foxbury symbols on it, but just pretend it doesn't. We go in here, we go past the fountain and this sign, because malls have signs like this. And then we go to this sitting area in the middle. So in here is the clothing store. We've got these two outfits for the feminine frame mannequins. We've got these two outfits for the men. I kind of was going like a little smart casual, a little comfy casual. I don't know what counts as a fashion style. And then in here, like I said, we've got little toys on all of these, and that is quite nice. And then in front of the shops, I have like windows, because again, you know stores having like the big windows in front so that you can, window shop before you shop. This is the masculine frame child sim outfit. This is the feminine frame child sim outfit. I cannot tell them apart because they're basically the exact same frame. This is the little prom area that I put in like the in the teen area, because I'm like, I'm thinking like, let's say that the mall is open like right now, right? Or I guess we could call this homecoming, and then it's like, it's about to be back to school, and then homecoming happens so quickly. And then in The Sims, prom is every week. Anyways, so I'm like, yeah, let's do this, and then it's perfect. So we've got two bathrooms. This is just a bathroom. This is kind of a family bathroom. It's got a changing station, but that is it. Over here is the family bathroom, and it has it's got a changing table. It's also got a toddler potty. This is the ceiling texture that I have, and it kind of, oh shoot. I'm kind of got that like rectangle tile feel, but that also could be the distortion from the free cam. Oh, geez, it is 203,000 simoleons. It is on a 40 by 30, so if you have a 40 by 30 lot available, like there's one in Newcrest, I think. But anyways, let's name this thing. I have known what I was going to name it pretty much since when I like had the idea. Okay, after the internet mall. So the reason is because I don't know if you've heard the song Coney Island by Taylor Swift featuring The National, but there's a line in it that goes, "We were like the mall before the internet. It was the one place to be." And so I was like, this is The Sims, and you know, this is the mall after the internet. We were like the mall after the internet. It's still an okay place to be. That's what we're going with. I make myself laugh, and that's what's important. Okay, now for the moment of truth. I am going to load up a different save and try to place this lot again. Okay, I am now in the save that I have for testing out the horse pack. Let's see. Oh my god, is it gonna place a lot with mannequins? It placed. As I live and breathe, The Sims fixed a bug. Oh my gosh. It worked! The Sims fixed a bug! Okay, well that is on the gallery. My gallery tag is Awkward Fangirl 6. I also have my gallery ID mentioned in the description box if you would like to download it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment below if there are any builds that you would like to see in the future. And subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you guys next week for the next speed build on my roster.